Night has fallen and you're weary from travel. Stars fill the sky above, and in front of you is a brightly lit wooden house, the only building you've seen for days. You walk toward the house, hearing the sounds of laughter and talk as you reach the door and push it open. You sit down and join the game. It's a cheap buy-in, and not many of the other players are very good. The lady fiddling with dice gets good cards, but has no real strategy. The man to your right seems to just hold on to the highest cards he has, regardless of suit or any consideration of matches. The man in gray across from you, though, he's good. He already had the largest pile of coins when you bought in, and while your winnings grow quickly, you can't quite catch him. One by one, the other players leave the table, sometimes with pique or with wry humor, leaving their winnings with you or the man in gray. Finally, it's just you and the man in gray. He looks at you, full of humor, and winks. Last hand? He deals, you draw, and look at your hand. It's good. It's great. The best hand, in fact. A royal straight flush. Spades. Aces high. But the man in gray pushes forward his whole pile. You're not sure exactly how much it is, but it's more than you've got. You can't match that. The man in gray stops you. Now, if you like, I'll let you wager your word. I know you'll be good for it. Just promise you'll pay the debt, however I ask. Yep, 10, Jack, Queen, King, Ace. All spades. The man in gray smiles. All right then, I'll call.
Well, your luck wasn't so good, was it? That's quite the hand, but not for the game we're playing. I'm afraid you owe me. Your life, sure, but more than that, your labor. You see, this land is built on stories. It's one big story, this country, woven of many small ones. Few of the small ones are strictly true, and the big story is mostly a lie. All the stories and songs and myths and legends start somewhere, with a seed. As they're told and retold and passed around, they grow and change to become the stories we know. To pay your debt to me, you'll be carrying stories, finding the seeds first and then spreading them, telling them onwards so they can begin gaining strength. This is no light task. Stories are heavy. Most of the stories you'll find will be small seeds. They might be true, but they grow wild and unbelievable with the telling. The more important stories are the true ones, the ones people will tell you about the more true stories you can find and tell, the more you can weave that truth into the big story. Tarnet, now, go ahead. You tell me a story. I'll strip away your flesh to make the journey easier. But hunger, weariness, thirst, and despair. And death, yes. But don't worry. As long... It's just luck. Funny how bad luck seems to follow the folks who already have problems aplenty. Well, try your luck out there in this country. It's not all bad. You'll have to work hard, but I'll give you the gift for not many who can do that. Travel? That's your job. Wander from place to place. People get bored hearing the same stories over and over. But an old... Your deepest desires? Your greatest wish? Heaven? Big Rock Candy Mountain? El Dorado? Well, I don't know where that is. It's supposed to be somewhere in this country. Ask the people you meet. They're all searching. You sometimes have to make choices about what kind of story you're finding. Don't gather too many of one kind, though. This go on your way, seeker. Maybe we'll meet. Either way, it'll be an experience. I'm jealous in some ways. I hope you find what you're looking for.
Ransacked. There's furniture piled in the front yard, ammunition heaped under the mail. The two heavily armed, mud-caked women leaning over the porch railing share the same bored grin. One of the women wrinkles her nose in disappointment. The other raises a rifle, levels it at you, and shouts, "Bang!" Off the road and into the woods, You can't help but come across this package by the old tree tied to a sturdy stick. The cloth wrapping conceals, though not particularly well, something large and softly You turn your back, but the parcel calls out to you in a whisper.
Pa doesn't want to live with us anymore, but I want to go with him. Don't...
You tell the boy you'll keep his... They don't come every year, you know. The old man is sitting at the edge of a rotting old pier, crooked legs dangling over. Just when the fishing is going to be good. He taps great black. Another year of this town being here, he replies. The woman walks the small town square with the poise of Betty Davis, the confident stride, and inimitable manner. You question a well-dressed man parked outside an oyster house. Prudish woman. I took her on a fine date, and she didn't remove so much as a ribbon. Excuse me, can you step back from the coupe? You talk with a waitress smoking outside a diner. Something funny about her. Just showed up one day. Doesn't work, doesn't live anywhere far as I know. Just around. Myself, I'd love to know who made all her beautiful clothes. You ask the woman if you may join her at a public bench. You may. Lovely outside, isn't it? Her eyes are a beautiful shade of brown. Beneath the yellow ribbon, a thick, fibrous scar wraps around her throat. Weather like this, it reminds me of Paris. You can see storm clouds on the horizon, and you don't relish the thought of being caught wandering. At the top of an ornate wrought iron spiral, you're breathless and feeling the strain on your knees. Looks like we got a visitor. Sounds like a man's voice, deep and rough. Well, behave yourself. I'll open the door. Another. After a moment, the door unlatches from the inside and opens. The man before you is tall and muscular, with a hint of a paunch beneath his wide chest. Despite the rough exterior, this room looks like a well-appointed parlor. There's a rug on the well-trod wooden floor and an enormously plush couch. And Oh, we manage. The tall one sits on the sofa, casually wrapping an arm around the other lighthouse keeper. The quiet suits us just fine. You wake up the next morning on their old sofa, still warm from an excess of tea. And cakes? There might have...